this OSI model and on the history of this OSI model. So when we talk about this OSI model, so the full form of OSI is Open System Interconnection Model, and it is developed by ISO. And ISO stands for International Organization for Standardization, and it is developed in 1984. And actually, if we talk about this OSI model, so it is only a seven-layer conceptual model. It is only a concept that defines how to data transmit from source to destination. Means suppose we have two systems in a network. Uh, just let me. Okay. Suppose we have two systems, one and one, and it is connected in the network. So when we talk about the process, means how to data transmit from one system to another system. So it is totally written in this model, OSI model. Means everything is a concept, and all the concept are written under this OSI model. So what is and it is divided into seven parts, seven layers. And what is it? Seven layer actually. So when we talk about this seven layer, so there are seven layer. One layer is first layer is physical layer. If you see this picture, so in this picture we have one sender and one receiver. This system is a sender and this system is a receiver. So the first layer is physical layer. Second layer is data link layer. Third layer is network layer. Fourth layer is transport layer. Fifth layer is session layer. Sixth layer is presentation layer, and seventh layer is application layer. So how this layers works actually? So first layer is physical layer, but when we talk about the sender side, so this application layer is a user interface layer. On this layer we work actually. Suppose I'm just working in my system. Currently, I've connected with your system and connected with all these participant, which is who is connected with me. So in that scenario, if we talk about, so I am just working on this application layer. I am using Zoom, I am using PowerPoint, and I am connected with you. So this is the or application layer. So always sender connected with the application layer. It sends the data, and the first layer of for this data is application layer, and then it's sent to the presentation layer. Then it's sent to the session layer. Then it's sent to the transport layer. Then it's sent to the network. Then data link. Then physical layer. And on this physical layer, actually in this physical layer, cables and connector works. So by cable, by connector, or by wireless frequency, it data sent by first PC to another PC, and this PC received. That means this second PC received the data on this physical layer. On this physical layer, because all the cables and connector, all the cables and connector available in this physical layer. So it receives by the cable or by the connector or by the NIC. It can be also wireless NIC, means Wi-Fi NIC. So it receives the data on this physical layer. Then it's sent to the data link layer. Then sent to the network layer. Then transport layer. Then session layer. Then presentation layer. Then application layer. We will also talk about this uh, responsibilities of this layer. Means what is the responsibilities of this layer? So first of all, when we talk about these seven layers, so these three layers, application layer, presentation layer, and session layer, also called as upper layer or software layer. And this transport layer is also known as middle layer. And this network layer, data link layer, and physical layer, also known as lower layer or hardware layer. Means all the hardware connected on these layers means network layer. If we talk about network layer, router works on this network layer, a router device. On this data link layer, switch works on this data link layer. And in this physical layer, all the cable and connector works on this. So all the hardware parts works on this these layer means network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. And on this upper side means these upper layers, application, presentation, and session. Your application works means it can be any application like your Zoom or like your uh, any remote application or any application which is used for the network parts. And this transport layer is used to connect these application, these upper layers, these software layers to the hardware layers. And if we talk about some more about this, so you can see here. Yeah, okay. So you can see here data unit for these layers. Data unit means what? If we talk about, suppose I'm taking an example, and suppose you want to send anything, you have a courier, right? You have this courier, and you want to send this from Delhi to Mumbai, Mumbai, and it is suppose this courier is a box, and you are going to just send this to courier office. So you just take this box and just give to the courier boy. Means in courier office, any person which is available in that courier office, you just give this. Okay, who will connect? Admit. Okay. You just give this box, and this is the format of this box. Means this is your data. This is box, right? But this courier boy means this courier in this courier office, they will pack your box in other format like uh, a big package or a big suppose it is a big packet, so they will pack multiple boxes in this packet, and they will send via any resources like a bus or anything, or uh, anything. They will send this packet, and they will send this Delhi to Mumbai. And in Mumbai there is a hub, means there is a courier hub, and this box and this whole the box receives on that hub. So in this hub they will unbox that things, unbox all the boxes, and after that one by one they will send to the address. So means what? In this scenario, box is the simple format, and then in courier office it is converted in another format, and in Mumbai it is again converted in another format. So same things here. Actually, when you works on this application layer or presentation layer or session layer, means you deals with the data. Means your data is in the format of the data. Means you have MP3 file. So this is the MP3 file on this layers. Means application, presentation, and session. Or you have a Word file or any file. And then when it's sent to the transport layer, this transport layer convert these data to segment format. Segment. This is actually a logical unit, means logical unit of the data, and then it's sent to the network layer. Network layer means router. So this router convert these segment into packet format, and then this router sent to the data link layer means switch. Physical layer means cables or connector. So these convert frame to into bits format, and in cable this bit convert into the analog signals, and then sent to the receiver side, right? And if we more talk about this, and so if till here anyone has any doubts, so just let me know. Yes, anyone has? Sunil?
No, no, no. You can continue. It will be
Okay,
clear.
okay. Ashish and hmm, who is connect with ITX? Yes, Ashish, can you hear me? Ashish, are you there? Karthik?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so any doubt till here? OSI model?
सर सर
मीन्स क्लियर है ना? इसमें अगर किसी कोई डाउट है तो आप बता सकते हो।
हम सर एक बार से सेशन लेयर और इसका डाटा लिंक लेयर का थोड़ा सा क्लियर करवा दीजिए कि क्या वर्क होता है।
नहीं, वो अभी हम देखो वन बाय वन जितनी भी लेयर है ना उन सबको हम वन बाय वन देखेंगे। ठीक,
ओके।
अभी मैंने सिर्फ इतना बताया था कि आपका जो डेटा यूनिट है वो कौन कौन सा अलग अलग डिफरेंट डिफरेंट लेयर्स पे कौन कौन सा यहाँ पे रहता है। वो चीज हमने देखी थी बस। बट अभी वन बाय वन हम क्या देखेंगे, फिजिकल लेयर पे क्या होता है, डेटा लिंक लेयर पे क्या होता है। ठीक है। Okay, so let's see. We have this first layer, and the name of first layer is physical layer. So, what's the work of this physical layer, and what's the responsibilities are? So, when we talk about this physical layer, so this is first or bottom most layer of OSI model. Means OSI model also says this is the first or bottom most layer. Okay, and then it receives the data from the data link layer. So you can see here. This is the first layer. This physical layer is the first layer and receives the data from the data link layer, right? And on the sender side, on the receiver side, it's sent to the data link layer. Means in sender side, physical layer receives the data from the data link layer, and on the other side, physical layer sent to the data link layer, and then it receives the data link layer sender side and transmit the data to the data link layer other side, and it uses the cable and connector to make the connection. Means all the cables and all the connection. Suppose if we talk about any network, so in any networks we have some cables, we have some connectors, or if we talk about wirelessly, so we have NIC, wireless NIC. So all the NIC cable connector, everything works on this physical layer. And what is the responsibility of this layer? So first responsibility is encoding. Encoding means what? Encoding means it converts bits into signals. It converts bits into signals. Earlier we discussed, means you can see here in this physical layer we have this data unit bits. So this physical layer converts these bits form into signal form. Bits form into signal form because in cable analog signals means flow. In cable, analog signals flow. So this layer converts bits into signal, and on the other side, vice versa, means in signal into bits. So first responsibility is encoding, and second is transmission rate. Transmission rate means what? It defines the data transmission speed. Means on this layer decided means what will be the data transmission speed. Why? Because data transmission speed is depend on your cable. Data transmission speed is depend on your cable, your connector. So that's why the on this layer transmission rate is defined. Okay, and next is transmission mode. Transmission mode means what? Defines the direction of data flow. Means on this layer means also defines the direction of data flow. Direction means what? Suppose you have two devices, one and this one devices, and you are connected with the network. So on this layer it is decided, means your data will be on simplex mode, half duplex, full duplex. I think you heard about these things, simplex, half duplex or full duplex. Yes, anyone has any idea about this? Means simplex, half duplex, full duplex, किसी ने सुना इसके बारे में? बताओ, कोई बता सकता है? यस, आशीष, सुनील, एनी आइडिया?
किसी को भी कोई डाउट हो तो सर से पूछ लीजिएगा।
बताइए, किसी को कोई डाउट हो, या फिर यहाँ पे पहले तो मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है कि यहाँ ट्रांसमिशन मोड मीन्स सिंप्लेक्स, हाफ डुप्लेक्स, फुल डुप्लेक्स, अगर ऐसा कुछ सुना है आपने? आई थिंक अगर आपने नेटवर्किंग के बारे में कभी भी सुना है तो मे भी इसके बारे में आपने सुना होगा।
यस सर, मैंने सुना है।
तो क्या होता?
सर, half duplex is type like a satellite phones, radio. This types of these are half duplex. Full duplex
Okay,
are is this like a Android mobiles that do communicate to each other.
okay, perfect. And
And
simplex?
simplex is the one way.
Okay, perfect. Yes, Sunil, is it clear, means, or anything else you want to add in this definition?
Yeah, clear.
Yeah. So
I think
when we talk,
yeah, tell me.
yeah, when we talk about this transmission mode, so we can say we have three types of transmission mode. One is simplex, second is half duplex, and third is full duplex. So simplex means what? Only one devices can be sender and other one can be receiver. Means if we have two devices and one device is a sender and the other one is receiver. So this is the simplex mode. And we have an example. This is television remote. Means we have a television and we have a remote. So always television used to receive the signals, and always a remote is used to send the signals, right? And second is half duplex. Half duplex means what? Both devices can send and receive the data, but not at same time. Means both devices can send the data, but not at same time. Actually, we have example. This is hub or Bluetooth. We have a good example, Bluetooth. Everyone, I think, used Bluetooth. So Bluetooth means what? Suppose you just send the data from one devices to another devices, means second devices. So when this process will be complete, after that, the second device can send the data to first device, right? And we have another example like walkie-talkie. Walkie-talkie means what? You, I think you saw in the movies, they use some words like suppose hello, or what they used, over and out. Yeah, over and out. Hello everyone, or something. This is a news on over and out, and then the second person start to talking anything, and then over and out. So why they used over and out word? So this is the code word, because in half duplex mode, means in half duplex mode, if the second device try to send the data at the same time, so both the data um, will collision, I mean create a collision. Both the data will create a collision. So that's why they use the code just over and out. And the last transmission mode is full duplex. Full duplex means what? Both device can send and receive data at the same time. So we have a good example, mobile phone. In mobile phone, we have not any code used like over and out or something. We can just send the data at the same time, both the devices. Okay, now any doubt? बताओ इसमें किसी को अभी कोई डाउट हो? यस, अभी क्लियर? सुनील, आशीष, कार्तिक?
Yeah, it was a good explanation. It's
Okay,
clear.
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, then next is data link layer. So when we talk about this data link layer, so data link layer is the second layer of OSI model, and it receives the data from its upper layer, and the upper layer is network layer, and then it convert the data into frame, because in network layer data is in packet format. So this data link layer convert this packet format into frame format, and then attach header and trailer, and forward the data to physical layer. Means the bottom layer means it convert the data into frame, then attach header and then trailer and forward to the data link layer. So we have a question: what is header and what is trailer? So if we talk about this header, so header contain 48-bit MAC address. Means header means what? Header contain 48-bit MAC address of both devices, means sender and receiver. So I think about MAC address you are aware. Means what is MAC address? If anyone has any doubt about this MAC address, so just let me know. यस बताइए मैक एड्रेस के बारे में अगर किसी को कोई भी डाउट है मीन्स मैक एड्रेस क्या होता है
Yeah, MAC address is a physical address of the system.
सर ये बेसिकली नेटवर्क जो हमारा डाटा को लिंक करने में हेल्प करेगा और फिजिकल एड्रेस रहता है। जैसे जो हमारा आईपी एड्रेस होता है वो फिजिकल एड्रेस नहीं होता, लेकिन जो मैक एड्रेस है वो फिजिकल रहता है, ये चेंज नहीं हो सकता सर।
ओके राइट actually we have two types of address used for a device used for any device. If we have any device which can connect with the network, so it has two types of address. One is physical address and second is logical address. Physical address is the identity of this device, and logical address is used to identify this device in our network. Means this logical address is used for the network part. Means suppose you connected with a network and here a IP used. Means logical address means what? Logical address is IP address and physical address is MAC address. So by this logical address, by IP address, your device will be identified in any network. Means suppose in this network we have multiple devices and the IP of this device is 10.0.0.1 something and the second 10.0.0.2. So this is the identity for this network. Suppose we have another network and in this network we have another IP 192.168.10.1. So this is only valid for this network part. If you change the network, so in second network it can be differ. So it is only valid for the network part. But this physical identity is valid for this device. Means it can't be changed. We have multiple method to change this actually, but it is temporary method. Means we have some softwares like Mac Changer, and in Kali Linux I think we have some tools Mac Changer. So by these tools you can change the MAC address, but it is temporary. It is for temporary. Means if you restart the system, it can be changed again, right? But we can change for for temporary time, right? So this header contain 48-bit MAC address of both the devices. Like when you send any, uh, suppose when you send any, we took a example, and we took an example of a box. Suppose you send a box, and in box you put a slip of the address also. Means you want to send this box from Delhi to Mumbai. So for to sending, you will just put a slip, and in this slip you will write the sender address and the receiver address. So same things here. In this data link layer, header contains 48-bit MAC address because this MAC address is the identity. Means from where you want to send and to whom you want to send. So all these MAC address available in this header part, and the MAC address size is 48-bit, right? And then this is the header, and second thing is trailer. So trailer means what? Trailer is used for error control. Trailer is used for error control. Means this will control the error. If any error will create in means this data link part. Data link part means what? In switch. Switch uses use in this data link layer. So in switch, if any error will create, so this trailer will control that error, right? If it is possible to control, means suppose your cable will unplug, so it is not possible to switch. So not possible to switch to plug the cable. If any software related error will create, or any packet related or any frame related error will create, so it will automatically solve by trailer, automatically control. And then the data unit of this layer is known as frame. As we discussed earlier, in this data link layer, frame is used as a data unit, and frame can contain maximum 15-18 bytes, and one frame size is means one frame is equal to 15-18 bytes. This is the data size. Means in any frame, minimum 64 bytes. Where is this? Minimum 64 bytes can be, or maximum 15-18 bytes. Right? And the responsibilities of this data link layer is framing. Means in this data link layer, framing is the responsibility. Second, physical addressing. Physical addressing means header will connect with this frames, and error control means trailer will connect with this frames. So these are the responsibilities of data link layer. Yes. Now, any doubt on this data link layer? बताइए किसी को अगर इसमें कोई डाउट है डेटा लिंक लेयर का. Yes, Sunil, clear? Ashish?
Yes, sir. No doubt.
Yeah,
Okay.
clear.
Okay. Next layer is network layer. So network layer is the third layer of OSI model. It receives the data from the upper layer, that is transport layer, and convert it in the packet, because in transport layer data is in segment form. So this network layer convert these segments into packet format and forward it to the transport layer. And it receives the data from data link layer and forward it to the transport layer. It select and best logical path for data transfer between nodes. Means this is the we can say responsibility of this network layer. Means network layer uh, select the best path in networks, because in network layer router works, and router is used to uh, select the best path. Means router is used for the internet networking to connect two or more different networks, or for the routing purpose. Routing means what? Routing means to select the best logical path. So you can see here we have some responsibilities of this network layer. First is routing. Means network layer is responsible for this routing. Routing means what? It is the process to find and select best path. Select best path means what? Suppose if you have a network, and that is, suppose we have this network. In this network we have this router, and this router is connected to the another router, and this is another router, this is one more, and here we have one, and this is connector. Means this is the topology. Under this topology we have switches and systems also available, but I'm just drawing this router topology only. So in this router topology, router used to select the best path. Best path means what? Suppose this is the router one, this is the router second, router third, router fourth, and router fifth. You want to send the data from router one to router what is it? Router four. You want to send from router one to router four. So we have two way. One is from the upper side, but in this side we have we have three next hop. Means they have three hops. We have one system connected with this router. So to send from this system to this system, you have to send the data from this router, and this will pass from this router, second router, and third router. And we have second way. In this way, we have to pass the data from this router and this router only. Means two. So on this path, we have three hops, and in this path, we have two hops. So router will decide, means from where, from which side it has to stand, right? So this process is called the routing. We have multiple routing protocols also in networking parts. We have multiple protocols. We can decide from where it will have to stand. We can decide also, and we have some dynamic routing protocols, means automatically router will decide on which side it will has to stand. So this is one responsibility for this network layer. Second is logical addressing. Logical addressing means what? Network layer uses IP address to connect the devices. IP address, because router works on the IP addresses, means switch works on the MAC addresses, and router works on the IP addresses. So this is the second responsibility, means logical addressing means connected the devices with the IP address. Third is internetworking. Internetworking means what? To connect two or more network is called internetworking. Two or more, we can say two or more different network, not network actually, two or more different network. Different network. It is called internetworking. So by router, we can connect two or more different network. Suppose you have one network is 10.0.0.1, and second is 192.168 and 10 dot something. So both the network are different network. If you see here, this is the class A IP and this is class C IP. If you heard about these classes in IP version 4, so this is class A IP, this is class C IP. So normally, if you connect with these devices directly or by the switch, so it will not ping with each other. So to make a connection with each other, so we have to use a layer 3 device. Layer 3 device means what? Layer 3 device means router, a device which is responsible for the internet working. So router is responsible for the internet working. Okay, so now नेटवर्क लेयर इज क्लियर. बताओ यहां तक किसी का कोई डाउट हो? यस. So is it clear?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. Next layer is transport layer. Transport layer is fourth layer of OSI model. It receives the data from the upper layer and convert them into a unit known as segment, pass these data unit to the network layer, and ensures that all the pieces arrive correctly at the other end. Means transport layer receives the data from the upper layer. Upper layer is session layer, and on session layer data unit is data, means normal data format. So this transport layer receives the data from the session layer and convert the data into segment, and that pass these segments into lower layer, and that is network layer. And transport layer is responsible for the uh, means for the pieces arrivally on the next layer correctly. Means uh, transport layer has responsibility to send the data correctly at the other end. Means suppose you send data from this PC to this PC, so transport layer is responsible to connect these PC, means for the connection control, for error control, means it is responsible for the correctly uh, sending the pieces of your data. So if we talk about the responsibilities of these layer, so you can see here, first responsibility is service point addressing. Service point addressing means the responsibility of the transport layer is to transmit the message to the correct process known as service point addressing. Means if we take an example, just a minute, let me clear. Okay. So you can see here, suppose we have a network, and in this network we have this switch. This is switch, and this switch has, suppose, 8 ports. 8 ports. And we have some PC connected with these ports. This is PC, and this PC, and this PC. So this PC is connected with port number 1, This PC connected with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, port number 6, and this is connected with port number 8. So when you send the data from this PC to this PC, so who will responsible for this part means it will send this PC send to the data from with by via this cable to this port, and then this switch will send the data internally by this port to this port, means port number 1 to port number 8, and this port send the data by this cable to this PC. So this process is called, this internal process is called service point addressing, means correctly send the data from one port to another port. This is known as service point addressing. So transport layer is responsible for this process also. Means on this process means when you send the data from one port to another port, so transport layer is responsible for this process, transport layer. And second responsibility is segmentation and reassembly. Segmentation and reassembly means when the transport layer receives the message from the upper layer means session layer, it divides the message into multiple segments. It will convert your data into segment format, and it will convert your data into multiple segment, actually multiple segment, and each segment is assigned with a sequence number. Suppose you have a file, and in this file uh, we have some pages, means 10 pages of data. You send this file on this transport layer, it will convert by data format into segment format, and suppose it will convert in 20 segments. So transport layer convert this data into segment format and then assigned a sequence number. Means we have 20 segments, so it will assign number, means one segment, second and third, fourth, fifth, and 20th. So it will assign a sequence number. At the receiver end, transport layer reassemble the message, means at the receiver end, transport layer reassemble these segments and convert these segments into this data format by this sequence number, means one by one. First number is up, and then second, then third, then fourth. If this sequence number is not assigned with this packet, so your data can be means inaccurate. Means suppose first in first number we have first segment, and then we have 10, and then we have 5, then we have 7, then we have 9. So it can be scenario, but transport layer assign a sequence number. So in the other hand, uh, it will uh, it will actually uh, convert these segment into data by this sequence number, right? So this is the scenario for the segmentation and reassembly. And then next responsibility is connection control. Connection control means transport layer is responsible for making a connection from source to destination. Means it is also responsible for making a connection for source to destination for one PC to another PC. It is also responsible to make a connection. Error control. The transport layer is also responsible for error control. Means because it has the responsibility to send the data correctly from one side to another side. So it is also responsible for the error control also. The center transport layer ensures that message reach at the destination without any error. Means at correctly processed, it can be sent by one PC to another PC. So this is also the responsibility of this transport layer. So now, any doubt for this transport layer?
Once
Yes.
again, tell me the error control. I think little bit
Yeah.
confusion.
Yeah, actually, when we talk about the error control, so transport layer is also responsible for the error control part. Error control means what? In this transport layer, we have two protocols. We have
Oh,
TCP and UDP. If you heard about this protocol, right? TCP and UDP.
yes.
Yeah, so we have some applications related to this TCP and some related to this UDP. When we talk about this TCP, you use TCP protocol in backend on the transport layer. So suppose you are using YouTube and then mm, your internet connection is interrupted by anywhere. Suppose you turn off the internet or your router is
Okay.
shutting down anything. So then your YouTube page means trying to connect sometime, right? Sometime it will trying to connect and connect and connect. And if you just if you connect with the internet again, then this will connect from same means from same timing. Means suppose you are watching a video on uh, 4 minute and 15 seconds.
Okay.
So your internet connection is interrupted, then it will trying to connect with the internet, and then when you connect with the internet, then it will again started from the same time,
Okay. Without any
right?
error, like.
Without any error,
Okay.
right? So it is known as error control, and
Okay.
this transport layer is responsible for this error control by TCP, right? But we have two protocols on this transport layer. We have UDP also. UDP is
Yes. Yes.
connectionless.
UDP and TCP. I know.
Yeah, UDP is connectionless. UDP, suppose when we talk about this UDP, so uh, we have Zoom or we have any video call software. It can be any WhatsApp video call or any. So it is related to the UDP protocol. So in this, suppose my internet connection will shutting down, right? Then what will happen? So in Zoom, you will not able to connect at same time, right? In Zoom, you will connect not able to connect at same time. After that, suppose after 5 minutes, my internet connection will connect again. Then you will connect after 5 minutes. You will not connect at same time means this time. So this is related to a UDP. But in TCP, at same time you can connect. So we have a YouTube example for this TCP, right? So now,
Yeah. Now it's clear.
okay. Okay, then next is mhm. Okay, next we have session layer. So session layer is fifth layer of OSI model, and session layer is responsible to establish a connection, terminate a connection, synchronize a connection, and manage the connection between two PC. Session layer is related to the software layer. So in software part, it is responsible to establish a connection, terminate connection, synchronize connection. I mean, suppose if you use any application, suppose you use Zoom, right? So when you connect means when you click on join option, I think join option is there. So when you click on join option, so after clicking on this join option, this session layer will activated, and this session layer will establish a connection with same link. Means I send a link, and when you click on that link, so this link is redirect to your Zoom, and this Zoom will will establish the connection with uh, my session. And after that, when I terminate the session, so I terminate the session on the session layer, and during the session I manage the connection. Means I can if I want, so I can join any person, or if I want, so I can remove any person. So means I can manage the connection between two PC. If I want, so I can remove anyone in this session, anyone from this session. So I can manage everything in this session layer. So session layer responsible is for synchronization and dialog control. Synchronization means what? Synchronization means suppose we have a 400 pages files, right? We have a 400 pages files, and so this synchronization means this will add some checkpoints, and the checkpoint will add on after 50 pages. It is recommended actually. It is recommended by the software. So after 50 pages, it will add some checkpoint, and that ensure 50 pages unit is successfully received and acknowledged. Means in this session layer, what will happen? Suppose I'm just sending some data, and this data is about 400 pages, 200 pages, or 100 pages. So suppose I just send 200 pages. So this session layer will assign some checkpoints, or will add some checkpoint, and first checkpoint after 50 pages, then after 50 pages means 100, and then after 50, 150, and then 200. So it will assign four checkpoints on these files. So by these checkpoints, I will means ensure the packets or their files pages successfully received or not. If I take an example, suppose when you see any, this is a ground, this is a racing ground, and suppose some player is um, some player is doing racing in this ground. So we have suppose 10 racers here. So I think you saw the diagram where checkpoints. And what's the use of these checkpoints? So in every checkpoint, and there are one person available, and this person will send acknowledgement to the means racing head who will organize this race. So it will send the acknowledgement, means the 10 players is passed from this location, and again 10 player passed from this location, and from here 9 player passed, because one player is not able to uh, go away, means go from here, or he has some accidentally, or he have some health issue, anything. So it is responsible for the acknowledgement part. So same things here. In synchronization part, it will add some checkpoints in data. It is logically, and it in backend part we can't see these checkpoints. um, so this will add for the acknowledgement part. So why this acknowledgement? You can see here. Means suppose I'm just running this session. So in this session, I can see here means 5 person or 6 person connected with me, and then 2 hour or 1 hour means is going on for the session. So this is some checkpoints. Means total successfully I just passed 1 hour for this session. So this is called synchronization. And the next is dialog control. So dialog control means what? This is this layer allow two system to start communication. Actually, means two system uh, connect with this layer with each other in half duplex or full duplex. It can be any, means half duplex or full duplex. It can be any. So when you connect, suppose this system and this system is want to connect with each other by a session. So you are using any application. I'm just taking an example of Zoom. So in this system has Zoom, and in this system also has Zoom, and this is the host Zoom, and this is the client Zoom. So when you organize any session, so it will start the session. So when you start the session, so it will start on session layer. Yes, you are working on software part. You are working on software there. So when you start, click on start button, then you are that time you are using session layer. And when you just join here, then you are using session layer. So this is called dialog control. Means when you start the communication with one PC to another PC, and after that when you terminate the PC, when you manage the PC, so everything is called dialog control. So now it is clear, session layer, or any doubt?
सॉरी फॉर डिस्टर्ब सर, बट
Yeah.
सर 1 आवर कंप्लीट हो गया वैसे तो। अभी सर इसमें 5 हो चुके हैं तो टोटल 7 है, तो आप कंप्लीट करेंगे?
1 hour हो गया, और 10 मिनट चाहिए होंगे मुझे, अगर किसी को कोई जल्दी ना हो तो 10 मिनट
तो
में हो जाएगा कंप्लीट, क्योंकि आगे के
सर,
छोटे छोटे थे।
हाँ ठीक है, तो आप करा दीजिए, बाकी आप पूछ लीजिए सभी से, एक बार कंफर्म कर लीजिए।
तो किसी को अगर मतलब जल्दी हो रही है तो बताइए, या फिर अगर किसी को कोई डाउट वगैरह हो यहाँ तक। यस, इज इट क्लियर? सुनील, कार्तिक, आशीष?
Yeah, now it's clear.
ओके।
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay, perfect. So we have two layer more, and next layer is presentation layer. So in presentation layer, it is the sixth layer of OSI model. And what is the use of this presentation layer? So if we talk about this presentation layer, so presentation layer deals with syntax and semantics. Means presentation layer deals with syntax and semantics of the data exchange between two PCs. It acts as data translator for a network. The presentation layer is also known as syntax layer. So when we talk about the syntax and semantics part, so syntax and semantics means what? Suppose you send a file to a second PC and this file is MP3 file, right? You send a MP3 file and this PC receive this MP3 file. Then this PC how will means recognize which type of this file means for which application it is related to this file. Means suppose you receive this MP3 file, that's okay. But how this extension is means relate to this network means MP3 you send, that's okay. But when this PC receive this MP3 file, then just click on this play button, and after that, this MP3 automatically play with the MP3 player. You have any application related to the MP3 player or video player or media player, so automatically it will play with this MP3 player. So this is called syntax and semantics. Syntax and semantics means syntax or semantics decided means any file. So on which application it will open, on which application it will open when you click on open button or play button or any button. So it is decided by the syntax and semantics, and syntax is semantics works on presentation layer. And when we talk about responsibilities, so we have these three responsibilities mainly for this presentation layer. One is translation. Translation means what? It converts the data from sender dependent. Suppose you have a file, so this is your sender dependent format. You are using means it is sender dependent format. You are using English file, Hindi file, or any file. It is sender dependent. It will convert in common format. Common format means system does not understand this format means this English format or this Hindi format which you written in this file. So it will convert in common format in binary format because computer system understands this binary format. So it will convert binary and then send to the another PC. On another side, it will receive in receiver dependent format, in common format. In common format means in binary format. Then it will convert into receiver dependent format, means Hindi or English, which we used in a receiving end. So this is called translation. Second responsibility is encryption. Encryption means encryption is a process of converting the sender transmitted information into another form. Means encryption, by encryption, your sender transmitted format converted into another format. Means suppose we have a hello word. We have this word written in a file, hello. So it will encrypt in any format, means in any format which is not able to human readable. Means like at the rate, has, a dot, something. Means it is an encrypted format depend on the operating system. Suppose you use Windows or any application which you use to send the network. Suppose when you use remote, if you heard about the remote connection. So for remote connection, we have two types of protocol. We have telnet protocol. We have SSH protocol. So telnet send the data in normal format and SSH encrypt the data in SSH means secure shell. It is called secure shell. So it will encrypt the data, and it for this it uses I think EDSA encryption, EDSA or RSA encryption. This is an encryption type. So it will encrypt. So this encryption is done on this presentation layer. Next is compression. Compression is a process of compressing the data. Means on this layer, presentation layer, data will also compress. Means suppose you have 1 GB of data, then it will compress in suppose 900 or 800 MB. Then it will send in network, and it is totally depend on your application which you use to send the data in network. So this is called compression, and these three responsibilities is related to this presentation layer, right? So now any doubt for this presentation layer?
No, sir. Okay.
Okay, and last layer is application layer. Okay, so application layer is uppermost layer of OSI model. Means it is the seventh layer of OSI model, or we can say uppermost layer of OSI model. It is also known as user interface layer. It is user interface layer, means user interact with this layer. It provides services such as email, remote management, means anything which you which type of application you use. Means suppose I used any SSH related application for remote, any telnet related application, or any uh, suppose a mail related application. So it can be anything. So responsibility of this layer is FTM, means file transfer, means you can send the file by any protocol, by any application, access the file, manage the files, or mail services, means any application layer provide the facility for email forwarding and storage. So we have some mail services like Outlook, or if you use any browser, so we have Gmail, Yahoo Mail, or we have directory services. So on this layer, directory services also works, means provide access for global information about various services. Directory services means we can say, suppose we have Google Drive, OneDrive, means the via internet we can use the directory services. By on Google Drive, you have a 15 GB of storage which is available on Google side, but you use on your mobile on your system via the internet. So this is called the directory services on OneDrive, or we have some more drives also. So on application simply, it is user interface there. For a network perspective, if you use any application for networking, so it is works on application layer. So this is a OSI model. So now just tell me if you have any doubt related to this OSI model, or anyone else.
No, no. Thank you. Now it
Okay.
was a little bit aware of to know.
Sorry.
No, it's not clear actually.
Okay.
I have a little bit confusion on this. Now it was clear, and your session will be more effective to me. Actually, this is the first session I will attend that. So